Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the whole magazine.
Wowee, we're back,
Here's
boys.
your host. Shut up. Now start talking. Here's your host, Brandon Cox.
Hello, thank you, Walker, for that lovely sign-on. Welcome to
Next
the
person. Say hello.
Hi,
Hayes.
next person.
we
It's
have,
Hayes. It's me.
The usual
I am
culprits here.
the person next.
And next person.
We have
Everyone stop
Hayes.
talking. Say hello, Cornette.
Your house introduced me.
We have, of course, you know him, the resident bisexual man, Cornette.
I thought you were the resident bisexual.
If y'all don't know already,
Sure.
Dick
And
tastes
then
like
we also
lollipops.
have Walker. You heard him when he first joined. Okay, we have shit to get to, right? We have some plugs we gotta get to. I revamped the website. The website is new and improved. Please go and look at it. A lot of to fill up the interim between podcast uploads. I'm actually making more articles in between those times. So there's quite a few articles per week that get pushed out. So go to thewholemag.com. So much more streamlined fucking URL than the previous version. So
I wish we were a firearms-oriented podcast.
it could, if you
could
want.
be.
If you want to have a fucking firearms
You
page,
could
totally
write-
down.
you
Have
could write
enough money
articles.
to make enough reviews.
You could write articles about your gun.
Well, I mean, like you have
Just
to think
every
about it.
week. It's just another article about why
I
jerk
want to
off
talk about
my
these next
specific
4 inches
firearm.
of the weapon.
You have to think about it. Like those people like that write about gun news don't necessarily buy the firearm either. They just talk about it.
Yeah.
How
many videos have you
so-
seen? Like, and I'm not even like asking a question not to be
I don't watch
answered,
gun tubers usually.
but how many videos have you seen about your weapon specifically?
Like 3.
You probably could send. You probably could write something that no one's talked
Well, I
about.
could write about mine because I shoot it.
And
I'm sure
your
as you
muzzle
go
brake,
on-
and how that muzzle brake of yours is actually like probably the best thing you've ever done to it.
Well, maybe. I like the optic more, but it's all from 6 Hour anyway.
Yeah, that's a
Wait,
possibility.
the
It's
brake,
all basically designed for that.
the brake
weapon.
was from Sig.
Yeah, the brake
Oh,
is
okay.
actually specifically designed for the tread.
Oh, that's really cool.
I was trying to make a page or a category, at least a category really of weapons-based sort of content. So firearms, military tech without fucking divulging information.
All right, boys, today we're talking
War
about
Thunder.
shield cats.
War Thunder, we're looking at you.
Shield cats as a weapon.
But so please go ahead and head over to the whole mag. It's pretty cool. I
Make
like
sure
it better.
you type in HTTPS,
You know,
or I will steal your credit card.
Do your
data.
HTTPS.
It would be really funny if in the
yeah.
future, like Chinese aircraft information gets leaked, and then it turns out it's a direct copy from Russian and American tech, 100%.
Oh,
that
like,
would be really
You mean
funny.
the fact that they're literally just gluing bits of shit onto MiG-21s?
Which
anyway?
is, look, I want a space MiG-21. That'd be super.
Pretty sure that's
cool.
all the J8 is.
Kind
It's
of
just like a MiG-21 that they bolt some shit onto.
In true Russia fashion.
No, Chinese.
Oh, China.
Anything that's like a J.
Oh, Jay.
is
Sorry.
Chinese.
I was thinking of SU. We have, of course, the alcohol review.
This is also my section as the resident alcoholic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Guide us in,
resident
buddy.
alcoholic.
Oh, it's definitely him. I mean, you drink, but you drink Coke.
I drink a lot.
All right, so it says Pacific Rim Riesling from Columbia Valley, Washington, which automatically, to me means it's not going to be that good, but Brandon says otherwise. It says it's medium dry, still not fucking stacking up there, bud. And this wine, aromas of ripe pear, pineapple, apricot, with bright acidity and a touch of residual sugar. So the thing is about Riesling is it is supposed to be sweet.
Yeah. But Riesling is also just the grape.
Yeah, but that type of wine in general is supposed to be sweet.
Get fucked. Riesling is a grape.
Yes, that's why. But that type of wine, like Riesling wine,
No one cares.
made from the grape Riesling, usually out of the Mosel River Valley or the Ruhr River Valley, or no, Rhine River Valley, that one in Germany.
Fucking
It's supposed to be a medium sweet wine.
It is probably not a. What is the medium dry, medium sweet? It is not going to be your traditional German Riesling. I think they did quite a good job.
Hand me another glass.
I think they did quite a good job with this one. Yeah, I had this at a anniversary dinner, and it was delicious.
I'll hand this one to Cornette.
Stop.
What? Whose anniversary?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, that's something to unpack right there. So I had this at an anniversary dinner, and you go, whose? Do you often have have you ever gone to an anniversary like dinner? Like,
I think I've done that with my mom and dad before. Like they were just like, we're just gonna go.
Sorry,
to the lobster.
it wasn't an anniversary dinner. It was just dinner.
You go out. If you,
I don't know. Parents are weird sometimes, man.
why would your parents bring their kids on an anniversary?
it's big
I think
sad.
they just missed me a lot, honestly.
When did you visit home from the army or something?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think that might have been part of it. But
That's usually not an anniversary dinner, though, if you involve people outside of like who the anniversary.
look, you might be. I'm not gonna like.
Were you there at the wedding?
No. I just thought it was. No, I just thought it was a funny little.
He was a glint in his father's eyes.
It's
So, yeah.
so
thought it
funny
was,
because there are some people that were. That's funny.
I thought it was a funny little question that you would ask. Whose anniversary
I don't know.
dinner
It just
was
seemed
it?
like a normal question.
That was
I
just a
wasn't-
little.
I
That was
didn't-
just a little insight into the lore of Hayes. But yeah, please.
So I'm definitely more of a red guy.
Good.
But this is
good. You
you already had some?
Yeah, it's a nice. I mean, I've already fucking tried it. It's a nice balance between sweet and you're dry. I think it's phenomenal.
I don't. Yeah, that's all right.
I like Schmitzona better.
Well,
Is sour- is sour
I
the
like
wrong
grape
word?
juice too.
Is sour the wrong word here?
Dry. So you have taste you have sweet
Well-
up front, and then you have it goes into the more dry aftertaste, which is
sour.
great.
Sour can be the right word, but
It
it's
is-
not the opposite
yeah.
of sweet.
It is tart.
So
This
dry,
is a tart.
dry and
dry.
sweet is about
It's good cold though.
most wine is.
It's
That's how you're supposed to drink wine, actually.
I think it's delicious. It's you start with
What
the
do you
sweet.
What do you think of the profile, Cornette?
If it can get me drunk, it tastes good.
What's the alcohol percentage on this? How much is the bottle?
30.
Okay.
But that was because I bought it directly from the restaurant.
12.1%. So it's pretty hefty for a wine,
So it's
at least for the United States.
I bought it directly from the restaurant.
it's
so
That pisses me off.
no, I think that this is a happy medium ground if you're going for a drier Riesling. And let's truth be told, yes, Rieslings are traditionally supposed to be sweet. Riesling, at the end of the day, is a grape variety, much like Chardonnay or Cabernet Sauvignon or Pinot Noir. They all do different styles. You can
forget
have
the-
sweet Pinots.
I forget the brand of Riesling that I got from Total Wine, imported from Germany. It was like $25. I like it a lot.
We've
better.
done
I don't need to bring that up.
Schmidt-Zona. We've done Liebmilchfrau.
Liebmilchfrau's not Riesling though.
I'm pretty sure it was. Oh no, that was a different
Liebmilchfrau's
style
different- it's
of
a-
white wine.
Yeah, it's a different type of wine.
Different grape. But yeah, I think this is
It's
a great Riesling.
Liebfrau. It's Liebfrau Milch, actually.
I think this is a great Riesling, though. Actually, sort of dry, sweet, same time, nice middle ground.
Yeah.
It's
Stick
delicious.
to anything from the Mosel or Rhine River Valley, in my opinion. You want more?
No.
Okay.
Man, that sounds so good in the ears. Mm. You want more?
Yeah, I've been waiting for weeks because I'm a good man. Yeah, I apologize,
when.
folks. There's been that'll do. There's been a kind of a lapse, but I'm glad I let the news cycle develop. Put it back on that postcard thing. I'm glad I let the news cycle develop because there's a little bit more to talk about that would probably make us more angry today. That being said, a lot of shit's fucked, but it's okay. It's okay because it's been fucked for a very long time.
That's true.
So,
The
and one of those things,
It's really nice.
we're seeing the wokeness intrude other branches of the military, I'd say, more than the Army. I don't think the Army necessarily has bit the, what would you call the woke ass side
because
of
everyone in the
issue.
army knows it's fucking stupid.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the military is having huge issues with retention.
Honestly, it's more. I think it's a Pentagon problem. It's like a top-down issue.
It's always
Well,
a
yeah.
Pentagon problem
Let's-
with you, Hayes.
But
It
hey,
truthfully.
don't worry, okay? Because the most fearsome fighting force in America, the Marines, is doing excellent training, and they are doing great things as far as policy. They got rid of the term "sir" and "ma'am."
So stupid.
They're doing it. This is why we are feared. Okay, the terrorists, the Russians, they are scared because they know that
We're
the
so
United
inclusive.
States
We're
Marines
so inclusive.
can't say "sir" or "ma'am." Let me give you more details.
You know what's crazy? It's good tactical standpoint.
JDAMs are such a Gemini thing.
I hate that.
I would like to point out for legal reasons that everyone's opinions here are expressed as
Yeah,
their
not
own personal
representation of,
opinions,
the
and
DoD.
nobody is representing the Department of Defense or
Yes.
the United States Army.
Now, the reason why they did this, by the way, it is to, as you probably guess, to avoid misgendering people.
Right. That's a critical thing in combat, right?
So let's also acknowledge for a second that the percentage of people who are transgender in the military is, less than a percentage point. And we are dictating policy to spare the feelings of that population. Less than 1% of the American population serves in the military. Less than 1% of that population identifies as transgender and might get offended if they're called sir or ma'am in the context of military lingo. You know, and we push policy on this. We push policy on this. This is a fundamental change in the Marines that took place.
I don't think it's
phenomenal.
1% that serves in the military. Isn't there only like 1 million service members?
If you
There's like 300 million Americans.
well, I think we're at like 400 to 500.
No, we're
Yeah, as far as like the American population, yeah, it's like 400 million or something. 357 sounds correct, but I think the last number I saw was 400 something.
In 2021, it was 331.9 million Americans.
Okay, so we're still in the 330. Let's see how we're doing with that.
Our birth rates aren't super great.
Yeah, they're not. They haven't been for a very long time. Yeah, I don't think that because we all have received training, but that we'll digress with that one for legal reasons. I can't wait for May 31st. So the World Economic Forum has given us some talks about diminished reality glasses.
Yeah, this I'm not heard of. What the fuck is that?
So
that sounds like a nightmare already.
it is. It really is. So basically, for those of you that don't know, the World Economic Forum is basically where a bunch of elite politicians and policymakers across the world gather up in a fucking Swedish resort. I don't know if it's Swedish, but they gather in a fucking extremely pretentious location to talk about world economics. And by the way, this is where, Greta Thunberg or whoever can complain to them about, global warming and shit like
Right.
that.
Right.
This is where basically complaining to a bunch of
It's
people.
like, you know how like everyone used to think like Comic-Con was like the convention for weirdos? No, it's this. It's the World Economic Forum. That's where the weirdos
I mean,
go.
Yeah.
the convention for the world's richest people outside of Elon Musk.
Right.
Yeah.
The weirdos.
And they talk about technology, they talk about climate crisis. This is also where we start hearing world leaders saying that we need to start putting bugs in our food.
Right. Right.
So like the cricket powder needs to start going into
anytime
the
like WEF is doing anything,
See?
I'm always kind of skeptical, but diminished reality glasses.
diminished
Explain that-
reality.
explain
So
that to
yeah,
me.
I will in a second. This is a whole backstory. You have to
Okay,
get the
okay.
whole like World Economic Forum picture. So this is basically a convention of globalists. Okay, keep that first and foremost in your mind. This is a group of globalists whose primary intention is to inevitably unify all of the countries of the world to be under one dominion, and them being the ruling class of people. And
That class being
they were
financiers, most
being
chiefly.
being the whoever they are, right? Whoever their positions in power might be. Now, do keep in mind that the whole idea here is that why this is so contextually scary is there's been talks of artificial intelligence and automation, basically quote unquote creating a faction of useless people in the world economy. And how do we placate these useless people who don't have jobs? Oh, drugs and video games is the short summary of it, because we want to decriminalize drugs and stuff like that. All these sort of weird things, placate them as much as possible and distract them. And so the diminished reality, in fact, why don't we let Amy Webb at the World Economic Forum explain it to us?
Diminished reality is removing things away. So if you've got a pair of noise canceling headphones, you've already got DR. What's on the horizon are
No
diminished
fucking
reality
way.
glasses that look very much like what I'm wearing, that would allow you to remove things from your point of view, from your view, whether that's garbage or other people. Singapore has developed noise canceling windows, so it creates an anti-wave from what exists naturally. And what's so interesting about that is that in the near future, it could totally transform our cities and turn the volume down on all that extra noise.
Fuck fixing the real world. We're just going to ignore it. Not even by going into virtual reality. We're going to just make reality look better.
We're going to put the horse blinders on the useless faction that
Oh
we've
my
created with our
God.
policies.
Don't look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't that kind of haunting?
That's fucking ridiculous.
Isn't that haunting?
That's so much worse than Ready
It's
Player
scary.
One. Ready Player One at this point is like a far too naive and optimistic view of the future.
It is. I
That's
thought it was
awful.
quite
That's
startling.
fucking
And
crazy.
you should also think it's quite startling, because the whole idea here is to create a class, get world domination going, get globalism going,
Hey yo.
and then eventually have to blind people to what is actually going on. So they're not going to clean up the streets. There's going to be dead people on the side of the roads.
You won't know
and you're
about it.
supposed to put on your glasses and be a good little boy.
It's everything's
You're
fine.
gonna
Everything's
own.
fine.
You're
The-
going
the
to
nightmare-
own
the
nothing,
nightmare
and
is
you're
not
going to
happening.
like it. You're going to own nothing, and you're going to like it. That's the whole idea. So that's the haunting bit there. What do you guys think about that? Isn't that fun?
That's the sort of thing that gets like pitchforks and fire and crowds all together in one room.
No, obviously it doesn't.
Well,
doesn't.
like
Just don't live in a city.
It doesn't. They
Do not become the bug man.
Do you know they stream every single one of their meetings? Like this is public information. This is, you don't have to dig very deep for this shit. I just Googled this. I YouTubed this and it came up. So yeah, that's kind of the things that they're doing behind closed doors, but not really. It's not really closed doors at all. It's on streaming on the fucking internet.
Well, how blind people are nowadays, it might as well be
Well,
fucking
I mean,
behind the door.
this is the thing, folks.
Yeah, imagine telling people about Epstein's Island like 2 years before it actually happened. Everyone thinks you're fucking nuts.
Look at Alex Jones.
Crazy.
Alex Jones was viewed as being crazy, but most of the shit he said was correct or somewhat accurate.
They are, in fact, turning the freaking frogs gay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it?
Do you mind if I grab one of your fences?
Well, they are mine,
The
but yes.
refrigerator, and they're not. They're Brandon's.
They're mine. I
Yeah,
bought
go
them.
ahead.
As a matter
Uh,
of fact, I
I thought
bought
you
them.
said his wife could get them for
No, I bought the fantasy, stupid dick.
Fuck you, I did.
Okay. Anyway, San Francisco wants to give black people $5 million each.
Very cool.
If you didn't know that.
I actually sent that article to you, didn't I? I put it in the chat.
Did you?
It's okay. Yeah, I don't contribute anything to this show. It's fine.
Yeah, they want to. My rage and sort of fury behind the recent goings on is sort of blinding me to the past. That's all by design, though. Yeah, so this committee sort of got together. By the way, just insert the likely name. It's a reparations committee located in California, obviously San Francisco, and it's literally only the city level. It's not the state. So only San Francisco, basically, citizens are going to get this if they ever do.
San Francisco can't even afford to get rid of their homeless problem by doing the things that they want to do already and giving them houses. So how are they going to give everyone $5 million?
But just wait, it gets better. Okay, so the already approved budget for the years of 2022 to 2023 was $14 billion. If this actually goes through, it would cost them about $50 billion. So I think they're going to be a little bit over budget. So they
He still thinks money's real.
on top of the whole $5 million, they also want to do things like wiping out all of their debts. So wiping out the debts involving credit cards, personal loans, and payday loans. They want to do that as well. But
But who's paying for it?
the San Francisco taxpayer. But
So they're not wiping out the debt. They're just moving it between people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they have to meet these following criteria. Okay. So they have to be at least 18 years or older. Okay. Now these are the basic eligibility requirements. There's another list that they have to get by. So 18 years of age or older. They have to have identified as black or African American on public documents for at least 10 years.
Identified.
Yes.
So Sean King.
You heard that correctly.
Rachel Dolezal.
Malcolm
So
X. What the
those are the two.
Talcum
Talcum
X.
X. That's
Yeah.
right.
Those are the two base. After you meet one of those two base ones, right? You go on to the next ones, and you have to meet at least two of these ones. Okay, been born in or have migrated to San Francisco between 1940 and 1996. You have to have proof of residency for at least 13 years, and personally or a direct descendant of someone jailed in the failed war on drugs, or a descendant of someone enslaved before 1865.
The dude, like, literally in jail for murdering someone for drug money. Just like, no, that's a drug.
The extra drug charge makes it racism.
Yeah. So this is what they want to do. $5 million. Okay. So this is a committee that brought it up to the San Francisco, basically, mayor and board.
Right.
And they're going to vote on it. I haven't caught back up on it because it's probably not going to pass. Why? Why do we think that? Because the left always does this sort of shit where they go balls to the wall, like bring out the most craziest shit you can, which they know is going to fail. And then they always address it in the news like, look what we try to do. But the Republicans and conservatives stopped us. We tried to help you, but the evil conservatives stopped us. So do I think that this had any intention of actually passing? Of course not. It did not have any sort of intention of passing.
It'll definitely stoke anger in certain communities when it doesn't pass.
It was
which
literally-
is probably by design.
Oh yeah, it's
honestly.
meant to foment anger and hate.
Yeah.
It has no due cause of
Very
fixing
cool.
anything. It is supposed to cause problems.
You know, there was a saying from a very, very influential person. You know, he grew me up as a child. You know, he had a great saying.
I was born at a very young age.
He his name was Payne. You know, wore a trench coat, had
Major
clouds
Payne?
on it. No, I'm a Naruto reference. You dumb fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, sorry. I think
And-
the weebs are in the other room.
And the fucking whole premise of those motherfuckers was to end the cycle of hate. Now, why is it that whether you said the libs are doing this?
Yeah.
Why is it that a big portion, are they big in the politics? Is it more heavy to the liberals or?
I'm not sure what you really asked me here.
I have a serious question. How many Dragon Balls did Naruto find?
You want the actual answer? He didn't find any, but there are Dragon Balls in the backdrop of a couple of the episodes.
That's funny.
So if they were there, why didn't he find them?
Why didn't he grab
Why
them?
didn't he find them? Because technically they don't exist in his universe, so he wouldn't have.
But they were there in his universe.
But they weren't. You see, they weren't.
I don't think anyone's.
But real question here: if we know these people are stupid, because they are, why do we let them be there?
Because we chose to have some sort of democracy.
So if I kill them all,
So we vote them in, and we're supposed to vote them out.
it's not
Is the
illegal.
idea.
They're called freedom rounds.
We're supposed to vote them out. And the
Yeah,
issue
it's
is
just
people
democracy's
just
kinda-
aren't.
You can't
I voted
just
them out.
advocate for fucking killing politicians.
Yeah, but I
this is
voted
not
them
an
out.
advocation for
on a public
for-
podcast
crazy.
for
on
violence.
Spotify.
By the way, we're not advocating violence in any sort of way. To answer his ridiculous
Cornet
question,
is. Cornet is advocating
to answer his ridiculous
That's
question,
some Fed posty shit.
no,
right there,
you're
bro.
supposed to vote them out, and
my whole dick, y'all.
that is sort of the
Bitches.
way they want you to go about these things.
It's the wrong way.
And a lot of it has to do with third parties who are mostly in control of media consumption, so people are often lied to and
Well,
misinformed.
you have to realize that this is how the majority of Californians want to live. So that's why they vote for things like this. This is how the
Well, yeah.
Californians want to exist.
California is
It's California's fault.
California can very much it can very easily like break off of the continental United States and drift into the middle of the Pacific, so then we can nuke it. And it actually would solve a lot of America's problems because honestly, liberalism as we know it today kind of spurred on from California and spread across the world to the larger metropolitan areas. So Houston, New York, Seattle, Portland, and that is where it kind of congregates because the mentality of basically liberals kind of they're the idea of the individual rather than the other people.
Specifically, Californian liberals are a cancer which spread across the United States.
Yeah, their ideas are just
and you
awful.
know what we do with
and
cancer?
You
We
cut it
cut
out.
it out.
You should cut it out and deport it
Their
back home.
Their ideas are
Back
Back
awful.
to California.
Their ideas are
Stay
awful.
out of Texas,
and
where
that
Stay
is-
out of Colorado. Don't even come to New Jersey.
Colorado's already too far gone.
No, it can be fixed.
Boulder,
it can't.
No, it
Boulder,
can't.
Colorado, and
How are you gonna do that?
You can just firebomb it. It's fine.
So the whole magazine podcast, as a corporation, does not advocate for the mass genocide or violence.
No,
against
no, no, no,
Americans.
no, no, no. Just go away.
Anyway, you have to realize that the left is very clever in what they do and how they sort of propagate these ideas. There's a particular group of leftists whose primary goal is to sow division so that way they can further control the country. And then you have a bunch of sheep in a flock. You have shepherds and then you have sheep. A lot of people just regurgitate what has been told to them without the simplest of Google searches or anything. And that's oftentimes what you just need to discredit anything that any sort of liberal ever says. And that's why the left relies on arguing out of emotion instead of fact.
It's like credentialism is so important to these people.
How many CID agents do you think listen to the podcast?
Oh, who knows? Probably say hi.
Sergeant Rob listening?
Drop us some comments. Yeah, so the issue is they
I have some
propagate
notebooks for
these
y'all if
issues.
y'all are listening.
Now, do I see this going through? No, I don't at all. But in further news of why everything is broken, the Pfizer situation.
Yeah.
The Pfizer situation is very,
Super cool.
really not good, not okay. But on a side note, we'll get to that in a second. I do want to say something that I wanted to make sure I mentioned of the fundamental beliefs of liberals versus conservatives and Republicans. The left, and this is to their own fault for believing this horseshit, but their idea of the world, especially in America, is that there is no way that you can make it. The United States is out to get you. You can't do anything. You need government's help in order to do anything in the United States. You cannot possibly succeed without my say-so. No matter what you do without my help, you can't do anything. Whereas the conservative view is, I am responsible for my own life. I'm responsible for how I'm living. I'm responsible for these decisions that I make that directly affect my life. And that is awfully comforting because it means I can change. I can change it. I can change what I'm doing in order to better myself and better my stance. And what do we see? If I were to pick somebody off the street and ask them about the state of the United States, and they'll probably say, of course, conservatives will probably say, oh, it's going to hell. Oh, and then, if somebody says, oh, it's awfully racist, I mean, no, they're liberal. But you look at them, what are they doing? Are we necessarily... How do they view the issues in their life, right? If you ask, hey, where would you line up on the whole, sort of poverty line? Are you poor? Are you middle class? What are you? And they would oftentimes say, yeah, I'm poor or whatever, and there's nothing they can do about it. The point being here, conservatives understand that their stances in the world and their position is a cause of their options, their opportunities, and how they utilize them. It's all about personal decisions. Everything in life, especially in America,
don't
is
downplay
about
the fact that the government does interfere in you exercising your civil liberties, and they will make it expensive for you to start businesses. They are making it worse. They are taking away good opportunities. And that's a problem.
Again, the whole idea of oh yes, they do make it hard. Yes, they're going after the Second Amendment. Okay, but the idea that you can't possibly make a business, no, yeah. Oh, they make it hard, but you're still able to, right?
Sure, but it's not stopping. It will get worse.
Well, that's
and
a
that's
point.
something that responsible citizens should if voting works, you should try to influence your government to not make it difficult or make it even easier. That's I just don't want you to, not.
Yeah, I guess if we want to incorporate, we have laws and regulations, therefore you still can't do it. Yeah, we still live in a society. Sorry, folks, we still do. At the end of the day, conservatives and Republicans understand that anything that is possibly bad in one's life is a product of their own personal decisions. Whereas a liberal libtard will be like, woe is me, it is your fault that I'm fat. It is
Don't blame the
society's
victim.
fault that I don't have a good job. It is society's fault that I can't do anything. That's why I'm clinically obese and I can't get a good job. It's because of everybody else except me. It cannot be my fault.
I mean, I didn't make the ATF, right?
But you're certainly complaining about it.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I didn't make it.
what is that? Why does that matter? Why does that matter? It's very simple because people have been lied to for decades, left people, and still believing this shit, that they can't make it and they need the government's help. And they don't believe that people of color, which is so fucking racist of a term, where black people and minorities can't even seem to fathom to go to a ID shop and get an ID. The left actually believes that. They say voter ID is bad because minorities don't know how to work the internet and they don't know how to get
you know it does take an ID to go get liquor.
Hey,
Right.
hey, the ID is free. You can go to the office or you can go onto the online. But our president says that, they don't know how to use it. But we're the racist ones. We're the conservatives at face value are racist. Oh, and by the way, if you guys haven't fucking seen
I forget.
Soft and Quiet.
Driver's license will let you vote in most states.
Are we supposed to talk about that movie?
Which movie?
Yeah, the Soft and Quiet, which
Oh,
we'll
man.
address in prime time, actually.
I showed it to my fiance.
yeah.
She didn't like it.
Yeah, Soft and Quiet is one of those fucking movies where you're just like,
That was pretty awful.
wow.
Mostly just because of how annoying all the characters were.
Yeah,
Was
well,
the
that was
only
the
ac-
good-
that was the only accurate part of the film.
That was the accurate part.
I'm not even sure what like the political message is, if there even is one, or
Yes,
what
there
the
is.
actual point
There
of the
is.
story.
There is
is.
definitely
If you look past the
I
blinding,
feel like they're
absolute-
attributing
all
too
white
much
people.
intelligence to the person who wrote that.
No,
I don't think they're that smart.
No. They are because of the characters and how they're
It's not an
written.
intelligent message, but there is a message.
The characters and how they were written is very intelligent because they understand how people act and behave. So that's very good. It was a group of women who were neo-Nazis, basically.
Well, the message is
Listen.
all white people or all white
Yeah.
women are Nazis.
No.
Secretly
It goes even further. The further message is it's okay to assume that white people are all racist Nazis.
Yeah.
And you just never know.
Why is that the message?
The pie.
Because if you look at all the headlines when this movie first came out, for example, I wrote an article in the review and it said, and I found a headline that read, "The scariest part about Soft and Quiet is that these can be your neighbors."
Yeah.
So you have the production team.
normal on the outside.
You have the
shit like
production
that.
team
Yeah.
who did this movie, and then you have the media carrying their water as spreading that bullshit message. The message is, the political message is, it is okay to assume that every white person is a secret racist Nazi, but don't ask them. Just assume.
Just assume.
Be scared. That's the
Is that
fundamental clause of
Is
the
that
movie.
a normal, like, is that teacher
Because- and-
just showing the kid on the sidewalk
Hold on. It goes even further. Remember,
or is it something more sinister?
because the producers labeled this movie as a horror movie. Did you know that?
yeah,
That was a horror movie we watched, Walker.
It was more like a
it was
comedy.
horrible.
It was
It was
for
like if the Three Stooges tried to commit a murder.
It was a ironic comedy because of how ridiculously stupid it was. But they label it as a horror movie because they want you to be scared and they want you to assume that white people are racist Nazis.
Another subtext to that film. What was the husband's name?
I don't fucking know.
But the guy who was coded as like a vet, well, it's like, white men have no ability to lead, toxic masculinity. You can't, it was just,
I don't know if that was.
No, that wasn't the message.
That was a part of the message.
That was just a additional
He
character
was the
trait.
smartest character in
He
the
was.
fucking movie.
That was
was.
that was just an additional character trait ascribed to Emily, the main character, of being manipulative. And I'll tell you why. Because the producer Beth wanted to add that in because of an incident,
Oh,
which is what caused the inspiration to this movie. If you weren't aware. Yeah, are you ready?
yeah, please.
This is kind of showing you the sort of level of shit that we're talking about here. So I'm pulling up the thing. So it was released in 2022, last year. It was directed by Beth de Arajo. Soft and Quiet was inspired by the Central Park birdwatching incident in 2020. Christian Cooper, a black bird watcher, and Amy Cooper, no relation, got into an argument in New York City's Central Park. Watch the following clip for context, so everyone can probably remember this.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man
Clops.
threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Yeah, so basically this woman calls the police saying that an African-American man is threatening me. She does so, And then after this video was published, she lost her job, she lost her dog, she lost anything. So for those of you that are the liberals who are saying that we have systematic racism okay in America, are you fucking stupid? Like, fucking read the room. Oh, we have like direct laws almost about racism. Like, you just can't, you can it's hard to say. You do still have freedom of speech, but there are pseudo laws, social norms, and social taboos which have extreme consequences attached to them. For example, this woman lost her job, lost her dog because of the social taboos
They took her
around
dog
what
from
she
her.
said. Around what she said. So yeah, there's a point of why case A of why America isn't systemically racist, and how just racists are able to roam freely whenever they're racist. By the way, if you forgot, that was the inspiration behind this movie. Okay,
Which is like really unclear how like that lady is representative of
I
like
feel
a
like
threat.
she probably has some kind of mental issue.
to give you some sort of clarification, and
I don't think that's like bog standard. I just hate people of color or whatever. I think she might just have some kind of mental issue.
like she thought he was gang stalking
think-
her or
I
something.
think she might have like dementia or something.
Yeah.
So we're also going to play a certain scene, which some of the panel will remember from the film. This is sort of the. By the way, I don't recommend you watch this film. It is absolutely fucking abysmal. If you want to learn all you need to for this film, go to the whole mag, where I wrote a complete review with YouTube scenes, so you can get a feel for how this movie goes.
Great plug.
Please, for the love of God, don't buy this movie. Just don't. Do not support this kind of
Don't
fucking
rent
content.
it. Yeah.
Don't rent it.
Don't even hate watch
It's fucking garbage. Okay, don't hate watch
it.
it.
It wasn't
It's
even
not worth it.
It wasn't even fun to hate watch.
Go to the whole mag where I wrote a review, and we're about to talk it now. So here's a scene where Emily and her group of fellow Nazi women basically congregate in this church. Okay, because after all, she started this gathering and gathered a bunch of people with similar thoughts or ideas, right? And so here we go.
Do we want to go around and introduce ourselves? Sort of, I don't know, throw out ideas for what we might want this to be.
Hi.
This movie's so terrible.
I'm Marjorie.
Sounds like the beginning of
I'm
a
actually
lesbian
not
orgy.
sure I belong here. I'm sorry. I don't want to make you mad.
Imagine that instead of what's
You're not gonna
happening.
make me
Shut
mad.
the fuck up.
Marjorie? No, I mean that. No, this doesn't have to be anything other than what you want it to be. I mean, is there a particular reason why you did come today?
Oh, I just wanted advice with a work thing.
Would you want to explain what happened and we can talk it out?
Yeah.
Playing the whole scene.
Okay. So
This is so
I work in
painful.
town. Well, first off, I want to say I don't hate her. I don't hate anyone. But yeah, I work in town and I take the bus an hour each way, and I have been busting my ass for 2 years, and so that I could get.
That's not fair.
That's how I felt.
So did the Colombian woman stick up for you and say, hey, she was hired before I was?
Nope. No, so quick question.
Basically, so that's the kind of like the whole tone of the movie before the climax. Basically, she was complaining about appropriate action in the workplace, where people are preferred over other people based off of their race or gender. And so that's what she was complaining about.
affirmative
However,
action. I think you said appropriate.
thank you. It's affirmative action. Thank you. Correction. Miss input. However, please do note that after that first, what do these women think? It just became overt racism. Okay, it was just overt racism.
It's tying several like normie conservative opinions into like there's a couple others. Like one of them was like I think they mentioned gun control.
They're
at some
stealing
point.
our jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's be frank that these comments, quote unquote, I'm not going to wait through that 4 minute and 46-second scene
Thank you so much.
for us to hear the part. So basically, she's talking about how someone was promoted above her, and it was because of her ethnicity or something. And then she, of course, after that one, she rolls in the whole urban kids not being able to spell their own name comments. And just after that, it is just overt racism. It is just full on, full send racism. And that was the whole movie until shit hits the fan. Okay. Now, what happened in the movie, folks? Okay. They go to a grocery store, right? Because one of the neo-Nazis own a grocery store, right? Okay. Yeah. They go to the grocery store after post-meeting thing. By the way, the guy at the church who owns the church or runs the church kicks them out because they're fucking Nazis. Kicks them out, and they go over to someone's house for wine, but they have to stop at the store to get wine. So they go to the store, and then two non-white women come inside. Heaven forbid, okay, because these neo-Nazis are there. And they start absolutely not having a fun time. We learn later that one of the women is the apparent rape victim of the main character's brother.
Yeah.
And
if he was a Nazi, why would he
rape her? Yeah.
The end state of that scene was because there was profanity, and they made that woman buy like a $300 bottle of wine
after
when it wasn't worth $300,
and then they pulled a gun on her.
And then their end state was like, let's go steal her passport at her house. And so they go to her house to try and steal her passport. They
gotta remember the fact
she
this
guilt
is where
trips her husband,
the vet,
yeah.
probably Iraq veteran, comes in.
She guilt trips and calls her husband a pussy if he doesn't come. He comes, is reasonably level-headed, and goes, "Hey, you have 5 minutes, then we're leaving." They go inside and act like they just got home after a long holiday, where they start perusing everything, start playing music, going through the fucking fridge. They find the passport, and oh no, we hear a car coming up. They get out of the car, they all hide. The woman enters the house, gets startled by something, starts running, and then Emily sends her husband after, go capture her. So he captures her, brings her back in, ties him to a chair, gets the other sister who comes out, ties her to a chair. The husband fucks off, and then ultimately they kill the younger sister because she has a fucking peanut allergy, and they were like doing some weird BDSM shit. And they basically crammed a trail mix into her fucking face. She dies, and evil moments. And then they go like, okay, what are we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and
toss him in the lake.
Amazing. Well, at first it was gonna be like, oh well, let's just sodomize her with a fucking carrot.
That's right.
Because they won't suspect a man if
they won't expect a woman if it's rape. But they used a carrot.
Yeah,
so like swab for something.
Yeah. So if that didn't work out, didn't think through, then they tried smothering her with a fucking pillow. Oh no, they all think that they're both dead. So they all pack them up in a bag. They drive them to the fucking lake. They roll out a little bit, toss them down,
and
the biggest
3 minutes to kill someone through suffocation.
The biggest reveal is they break through the water. Okay, that's basically the summarization of the movie. And that whole movie was inspired by the aforementioned incident.
Shitlibs have a wild imagination. I'll give it to them.
I feel like it's one of those, like, that they wrote like the second or third episode of Stargate, and that episode where Lieutenant Tasha Yar in Star Trek has to like fight to the death with someone. That kind of writer where they just have like a non-consensual like rape fetish, and they just write it into TV or movies.
So we are going to go ahead.
When did the entertainment industry turn into I'm gonna put my political opinion in entertainment industry?
It's kind of always been that way. Yeah.
I don't know about you.
It's been more subtle.
I don't know about you, but there's nothing in the fucking aristocrats.
So she went to the Bodyworks gym for
the Aristocats.
Okay,
what are you talking about? That's like class warfare, dude.
Rich people bad.
Dude,
deconstruction's a hell of a drug.
To finish off the podcast, we are going to mind the telescope. To finish off the podcast, we are going to listen to this audio, and that'll be it. Okay, it's a TikTok. We're reviewing TikTok. Okay, ready? Here we go.
28-year-old Bridget Klein Simpson has identified as a woman for years, and she wants to get into better shape, so she went to the Bodyworks gym for women in Parksville for a membership. Klein Simpson says she was initially welcomed, but after one workout, she was informed she was not allowed at the women's-only gym.
Saying, sorry, we made a mistake. You're not actually allowed to be here, but you're more than welcome to use the co-ed facility. And I kind of just hung up because I was extreme devastated. I mean, there's really no other word for it.
That's a woman?
What? Let me see what
His
No.
voice is deeper
this
than
person
mine.
looks
No.
like. Let me see.
Sorry,
I don't want to.
Her voice is deeper than
I know you value your sleep. I'm not going to give you an
I didn't realize. I thought that was like a spokesman for the gym. I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
no,
No,
that's
that was the
hilarious.
woman. Okay. That's going to be all for this episode. Short and sweet.
Wait, we're not going to dissect that at all. You're just going to leave us off at that?
Leave it alone.
But
Yeah.
This is like that app that's like
That,
there was like some kind of social media only for women, but it worked off face scanning, and the developer refused to change it because men. If you grew up as a biological male, that affected your like bone density and facial structure. So an AI trained to discover like whether or not you're a male or female isn't going to care about what you actually identify as.
Yeah.
And the developer was just like, I'm sorry. But you can't use my app.
That's so funny.
Which I'm pretty sure a lot of women actually appreciated behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. You can't be a woman and
Because
like,
I
publicly be
wonder,
okay with that.
because what the implication is here that this gym probably just acted alone and just said no, when in actuality it was probably that
a bunch of the gym goers
actual
probably
patrons
complained about it.
The actual
in
patrons,
in private.
So it's not the gym that's transphobic. It's the gym.
it's the gym goers
Good.
who are probably like, hey, by the way, the only female quality that this woman had, quote unquote, was long hair.
I had long
Oh,
hair.
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference then.
Was long hair.
The fuck you mean?
Was long hair and
I'm
approximately
being sarcastic.
it had long hair, okay, and like 4 chins. Damn. Yeah, so it was obviously the patrons who
that's
are like,
like
"Hey, I
2
am
more than me."
very uncomfortable having this person
Probably
in the
leering at them too.
in the
Like,
women's
let's
locker
be honest.
rooms, in the women's
Let's be real.
bathrooms. Probably very uncomfortable. But anyway, that's where we're going to